Hi, everyone. I am here with Maya Elle, the amazing creator, and I guess you are fashion like uh, a whole fashion name right now of Poor Little Rich Girl Studio, and she's here with us on the turnaround. And she's all the way from like San Francisco Bay Area. So yeah, it's a whole time difference. So thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Karen. I am honored, honestly, hailing from Oakland, California, where it's bright and beautiful, but not as warm as New York.
Listen, we have like thunderstorms. It's like it's not even that warm anymore. Like it's like 60,
Oh,
77. Like yeah, it's
okay. I
around.
might be beating you right now with the California sunshine. We're heating up this week, about 75 though. That's about perfect for the Bay. We're about 75, 80, and then that's fine. We don't have air conditioners, so that's enough.
Okay, I'm over here like my eyes are like widening as if I have my own. I don't have an air conditioner. I just turn on the fan or get it like or wear as less clothes as possible. Like I mean, like
Yes,
the minimum.
yes.
So let's get into it because your time is money, and
Mhm.
so tell us a little bit about Poor Little Rich Girl Studio, and how did you come up with that name? I know there's a story behind it.
Kind of. I was traveling with friends. We went on we call it the world tour. It wasn't. We popped around in Europe for a few weeks, and while on that trip, it's a coined phrase, poor little rich girl. And while on that trip, it became super real to me, right? We are very high low set, as is my store, right? Like it's like beautiful. The goal is for there to be beautiful things and things you can pair, with something expensive or, whatever, still be fashionable and all those things. So the trip kind of mimicked what has turned into the store. But while on the store, I said to my friends, I think I'm going to write a blog. Like, I was feeling this certain vibe, blah, blah, blah. And then I thought, I don't want to have to be that consistent. I don't have that much to say. And it turned into a store on the trip. And just in general, people will ask, like, oh, where'd you get those glasses or earrings or whatever? I really love a good accessory. I like dolling up. If I ever invite you to anything, I'm like, hey, we're going to blah, 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 doll up. Like that's the phrase, doll up. Like let's get dressed.
It's like what the like you have to get dressed. Like go
Get
anywhere
dressed.
and take photos. It's lasting memory because when people look back on their photos, it's like, what was I wearing? Like, no, you should be intentional
Right.
when you go out and
Be intentional. Right. I mean, God bless everybody, but that's my lane. And I am my grandmother's child. She's never not perfectly put together, every hair in place. I may not reach her level, but I am striving for that, right? To like at least put it together, at least like have made the effort. And I appreciate when people do, like whether it's like, I'm not the bride at the wedding that's trying to put the bridesmaids in an ugly dress because I want to be here and want them there. No, let's slide the photos, honey. Get dressed. Bring your A game to the wedding, right? Like, so I like that. And that's the goal. That's what I tried to curate. And I'm pleased with it. It's been a ride. It's about 3 years old and it has been a ride.
okay, so okay, now we got the story, rich little because I mean everybody's like that little poor little rich girl. Like you want these amazing pieces, but
Yeah,
you're like, how can I like get the right affordable ones?
right.
And with my organization, we're like, okay, like we're in the thrift stores, like that's kind of like our area, like
Hmm.
finding little hidden gems that are of quality, but you don't have to spend
Right,
money and still look with like
right,
you got value basically. So yes,
right.
for creating that because I have a couple of pieces, so I'm
You have. Thank you for shopping with me and just supporting me in general. You throw me into your stories sometimes and tell people about me, tag me in photos. Like it is it's important that we do that for each other. I mean, I'm not saying like jump up and down about a brand that you really think is trash. But it's important that we put people on if we can, right? And so even with my small platform, I try to do that for other women, and I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, no problem. And the funny thing is, like you said, you'll wear certain things and people will be like, where did she get that from? Like some people
Right.
will openly ask you, and then some
Mm-hmm.
just kind of watch and
Mm-hmm.
they're like probably like doing the research, like, where did she get this? But
Right.
okay, let me just take the initiative and just tell people, I know this is dope. So let me, like, let me
Right.
say where it's from, because I'm pretty sure some of y'all are gonna go run over there and be like, okay, this is where she shops. So, so it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of that thing when you become like this, like, I don't want to call myself like a fashion thing, but
Oh,
I
honey, you
don't
get dressed. Listen, you get dressed.
I be trying to wear stuff that make me feel good, like
Which is
I
the goal, right? Absolutely. Especially as we get older, things that sorry, off topic for a second, but I used to save things, right? I used to have like dresses or pajamas, right? Or just whatever. And it'd be like, oh, if this happens, I'll wear that. Or I'm saving this perfume for a certain level event or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if we learned nothing last year, tomorrow's not promised. You don't know literally what the future holds. Wear that stuff now. Enjoy yourself. Like, feel pretty all the time. If you want to wear silk to bed tonight, wear silk. You could go to bed alone in silk. It's a good
yeah,
night's sleep. Absolutely.
okay, but that was still on topic because we're talking about clothes and what's making you feel better and things like that.
Mhm.
Like, so I'm gonna jump into the next question because we talked about, like, especially like last year, what just it kind of taught us.
Yeah.
You gotta dust the stuff off, take it out, go to the supermarket looking like, what I'm saying, like you
Yes.
go to the club. But so with you created something during this whole pandemic, like coming out of it, like the business is blooming panel series that you have going on, like was that a big result of the pandemic because of it, like affecting you, or
In some regards. So I'd love to be the founder that has a cool story that's just about serving others. But what I'm learning in this conversation is my inspiration is also is often a need I have for myself or a need I've have identified, right? So my store was the byproduct of a trip I was on and feeling like there should be a space where you can get dope things and it costs you X, like it's not like you really and I love a good designer and I own them, but you can pair those things, right? And still look put together. And so my answer now to the Business is Blooming series and is as I'm leaning more into Poor Little Rich Girl Studio, I feel like I know some really dope women that are in business or they are creators or they own nonprofits, etc., that I would love to pour into me, right? And I want to create space for that. So rather than me just falling into your DMs, which we do, you and I'm like, I'm having a tough day, a tough week, pray for me, whatever's going on, or hey, how you doing? How's your foot? Blah, blah, blah. Like sowing and reaping. But if we did that in a larger group, then there's a lot of gems we can get from that, right? Growth can happen. It doesn't have to be like you have to go see, which I love her, but you don't have to necessarily go see Michelle Obama to like gain information to get to the next level. And then what does it cost to see her, right? And like, is that attainable today when you're on maybe year 3 of your business? Maybe, maybe not. But like there's a lot of women right now that we can use as a resource to get information, share information, or maybe you pose a question to me that I don't have an answer to, but somebody in the room does, right? So then there's like, I just want to create space and offer, if I can, kind of like group together different kinds of people that can serve not just me, but anybody. And I think what I've been blessed with, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I connect with a lot of different people. I have a lot of different kinds of friends, and my friends usually, I can invite a mix of friends and everybody can have a good time at brunch. You know, you have those girlfriends and all their friends are horrible.
Yes.
Like they're all mean girls, they're all jerks. And you're like, I don't know why I like you if these are all your friends, you know? My group of friends, whoever I invite, any color, any whoever you sleeping with, whatever, we're gonna have a great time. So if I apply that to business as well, the people that I invite to this, you are going to get something from, and you are going to follow them in all of those things, right? So that is the point of that.
Right. That's a whole tribe. Like you are
Yeah.
of whoever, like they are a representation of who you are. That's kind of like in business, right? Like
Yeah.
if you hire someone or you're a part of a company, like you are the face of that company, and whatever you do, like of course during the whole pandemic there was a whole bunch of people who got fired for certain things, and
It's
it was
true.
just kind of like, well, we're gonna have to dissociate ourselves from you because you're attached and you're starting to put this negative light on our brand, so we're gonna have to. And that's the
Right.
same thing we should do with ourselves and friendships and things like, listen, look, I don't know what you're doing over there, but go handle that. Take care of
Yes.
yourself. Come back to me when you're good. But right now, you're putting that negative light, and they say birds of a feather flock together, and I do not fly with that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And especially as brown women, as Black women, as women, we should lean more towards collaboration and less about like, you know, if I put you on, then there's less people shopping with me. Like that's kind of whack, right? There's enough room for all of us. And I know there's tons of memes that say that, but we really should internalize that. Like I only benefit from helping you grow. Like there's nothing, you know what I mean? There's nothing less about that. If you get on and now you're in the room and you're meeting Michelle Obama, whether you mention me or not, you might be wearing my earrings, or you could just come back and tell me what happened, right? Like come back and share with me. So there's only growth to be had. And I feel like, yeah, we definitely should do more about getting in the right circles and growing in those circles, sharing those circles. Like I shouldn't have to pay the lawyer if you already did to get that information. Share, what did he tell you? Like give it to me. Like, oh, so we should or should not check that box. Well, are you an S corp now? Or are you a blah blah? Should I be an S corp? Let's talk about that. Like, dude, share. And honestly, I'm serious. I'm happy to share with you anything. Where'd you get the loan? Well, what collateral did they ask you for? Cool. Let me make sure I have that collateral before I go. Right? Like,
right. Like all love. That's the thing is when you
mm-hmm.
have love for people, there's trust. There's nothing but trust and love. Love and trust go hand in hand. Like you cannot
Yeah,
trust somebody you don't love, or vice versa. So when they say spread love and do things, you're doing it out of love. Like, okay, I want to see you grow. I want to see
right.
you get to the top. Like, I mean, if everybody that you know at this level continues to ascend to a next level and things like that, then you all go somewhere. And
It's
it's
true.
not, you have someone there and be like, oh, okay. Oh, like, and then you're in the thing where somebody asks you like, well, do you know somebody that does this? And it's like,
That
actually, I do.
part. That part.
Like you become valuable because of the
Right.
resources that you have, or the people that you know. So it's good to keep those bridges. I mean, not the ones that you need to burn, but the ones that are authentic and they pour into you as much as you pour into them. So and even if they can't pour into you because they can't, like, you can't be
Right.
like, but the fact that people are genuine, if there's super love there, then it's like, okay, I see you're
Right.
struggling. Let me put you on because,
Right.
opportunity.
Everyone doesn't have to be your business resource. Somebody else could just be interceding for you. Someone else might just like, they might be in a space and then they tell somebody about you. They buy a birthday present for you. They got a small donation. Everyone doesn't have the 5-figure donation, but they got a little something, right? We've had successful politicians being office based on people donating $5, $10. Just give what you can. But if there's enough people doing that, you still get where you need to go. I totally agree with what you just said, 1,000%.
Okay. All right. So
And about burning the bridges. Happy to
yes,
say goodbye. It's power in the goodbye, honey.
yes, because you cannot fly with the weight of other people who are not flapping their wings, right? Like it's like if I'm the only one soaring and my wings is getting really heavy because now I'm carrying you, like I'm gonna have to let that weight go.
Got
And
to.
hopefully you fall and you start using your wings because you feel like you falling. But at the end of the day, you do have to look out for yourself because you are all you got,
It's
and
true.
so I learned that a long way, the hard way and the long way. Like I was like, yeah, take care of myself and then I can take care of others. It just
Yeah.
automatically happens that way. Um,
Yeah. It's a good lesson. And to your point, it's not the first one we get in life. It's not the first one. And even when people tell you, you almost need to bump your head with that one. And you're like, oh, shoot, this is what they were talking about. It's like, yeah, that's the one.
okay, so let's move on to the next question.
Okay.
We can talk all day.
I know.
All right, so we mentioned about your youth. I think you went there, so I'm gonna go there. Is there something in your childhood that you feel did I ask that already?
No.
Okay. So is there something in your childhood that is linked to who you are today, like a hobby or interest that you feel like, you know what, that's something that I used to do, but I had stopped, and now that you're older, finding your purpose, it's kind of like coming back up.
Um, Maybe. So when I was, again, my grandmother has always been super big in my life, and both grandmothers. I had tons of grandparents, and I've been really one of those rare, fortunate people that have a lot of old people around them. But this in particular grandmother is like so dolled, so beautiful, like that's very important to her. And so she definitely taught me that kind of thing as far as so I could see that now in business or in, what people say about me. I kind of am reflecting that. So I think that has been something that was probably poured into me young. And whether I even thought about it or not, it's probably become me as a woman. But something that I think I've done as long as I can remember. Like I was taught to pray when I was a little girl, and like at home, right? Not just like at church or and I went to Sunday school and all those things. And also interceding for others. And that is something I'm so grateful for, but it's something that has carried throughout my life. And it's what I appreciate in other people as well. And it's been a blessing. So if I had to like pick a thing that I did when I was little, I learned to pray. I do pray, and then I also pray for others. So I think faith is a huge, huge thing. And if you have the if you're taught young and it can carry you through your life, it can save you from a lot of things. It can make your life is hard, period, but it can make it a little bit easier if you have that kind of foundation. So I think that is what carries through to now and in business in every area of my life.
Okay, so now that you said that carried you over to today, since this whole pandemic, what have you
Yeah.
used to take care of yourself, like self-care, wellness, keep you sane through the COVID-19,
Yeah.
like just all of that?
Yeah. Definitely prayers helped and been crucial, but I think also last year I think I zeroed in on my priorities. I probably reprioritized things. So, going into 2020, specifically around holiday, where I was in a space where I could have spent tons of time with family and made tons of memories and really leaned into the things that feel really important in life and at holiday, and I didn't. Instead, I was working constantly. Like I was physically there, but in every other way, I was working. And I regretted that so much, right? Because life changed quickly. And I was like, all of this that I was like focused on was for naught, right? And then like the family and all these things that, we didn't know we were going to have. We didn't know, like, COVID did hit my family, but we didn't know, like, are you going to live or die, or how this happened? And I would have so much regret that I chose work over you. And then now work is so different, like work that, you know what I mean? It's a non-issue. So I think I had to reprioritize last year a lot. And to get through it, I think I just had, or maybe created different spaces for venting, like my circle's different. I met people last year. I met you last year. I met several people last year that I didn't know before, right? So 2020 also brought good things into my life. And I used those things. Like I downloaded where it was safe to download, and we had real conversations. I said yes a lot last year to things I had never done before, because the world looks different, right? So I didn't feel like I should be caught up in, like, I've never done that. I was like, well, let's try it. Let's see what people are doing, right? So, I mean, whether it was fun or not. So, I had to, like, for instance, my store, reels are important, and TikTok and videos and all of that. And that's the last thing I want to do. I didn't even want to be the face of my brand, but it was like, we're not seeing humans, and I need somebody in this dress. So guess who somebody is? All of a sudden it's me. So just being outside of my comfort zone, 1,000%, I had to do that to survive. Consistently challenge myself, try to push down fear, which is, for me personally, is always a really tough thing. I'm an overthinker, and I will be down, girl, I'll be down the rabbit hole. Okay. Like I could create, who wants somebody to write fiction? I could create a scenario and be on with it. And it's so unhealthy. Oh, it's the worst. So constantly trying to push down fear. I also did fun things. I perfected my German chocolate cake recipe. I'm amazing. Let me know if you need one. I went on to cheesecake. It's pretty good. It's not the best. It's pretty good though. I did some upgrades in my house. Like I just really tried to not get into being ungrateful. I never ever said, oh my gosh, 2020 is canceled. Let's just start it over. Let's get to 2021. We don't know what 2021 will bring. I'm not rushing it, So like right. I tried to enjoy the year and be grateful for the things that did well and the things that were screwy. I tried not to make it worse with my fear going crazy. But yeah, it was a wild ride, honey. I don't need to ever do it again, but I'm grateful for it. I started the year. I went to a retreat. Power 25 is the umbrella brand, and it was 25 Black women specifically in business. And I didn't know the person hosting. I didn't know anybody going. And so that was out of my comfort zone. I was like, okay. And I went, and it was a game changer. These women are amazing. And it was a great experience. And then the world closed, like as soon as we got back. So I'm grateful that I got that out the way. And then I ended the year at another retreat. And this one was focused on health. And there was a segment, I haven't shared this with anyone. There was a segment that was on mental health. So we were having like group therapy, and the gentleman said about how, like, if you're in a situation, a relationship that is clearly toxic, it makes you feel anxious, you feel stressed, like all of these various indicators, and you don't get out of it, like you identify this as an issue and you don't get out of it, that it's passive suicide. And I was like, I had to sit on that. Okay. I had to sit with that. I had to sip my tea. I went to bed thinking about it. I woke up thinking about it. It took me a couple days before I even said it to like anyone in my household. And then I was like, I need to quit my job. And I did. I ended up doing it. But that I'm so, and the retreat was very spread out again, right? Because now it's COVID. So everyone was like very segmented. We were in the woods with blankets spread out with our masks on. But I'm grateful that I went to that. I'm grateful that I said yes a lot last year. And
this
every
year,
time
be a lot of no's.
girl, this year, honey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
this
year
year.
teaches you.
Yeah, today is
Oh
not
no,
yesterday.
no, no.
Right. Closing some
Yeah, last
doors.
year was definitely yes. It was just kind of like YOLO. I'm gonna do this. I'm going to do that. It was. This year I went to I guess a resort, but like
Mhm.
away with people I didn't know. I met them all for the first time when I got
Oh,
there.
I love it. I
And
love
before, so
that.
it's kind of the same thing where I kind of like met
Right?
and just hung out with them and got to know them. And I was just like, you know what, YOLO. Um, and to your statement when you said the passive suicide, I feel like that's exactly what happened before I started YTC. I was in a job for a psychiatric hospital, and it was almost 5 years. I almost made my 5 years where you can actually get something. I forgot what it was.
Right.
But I was like, I don't see my smile anymore. Like
Mm,
I was not as happy as I was when I started at 19. And I just was like, no, like, and then the earthquake happened and I was like, I need to do something. Like I need to do something to give back to the world. Like, I need to be a solution. And I just kind of like
right.
up and quit. They thought I was crazy. They thought I was gonna come back. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, this is what I want. And look, almost 11 years later, I'm still, with my organization, Get St. Churches. And it was something that I literally walked away because I felt like it was passive suicide. Like I felt like every day that a little bit of me was dying. And I was doing it to myself. Like I was
Right. Right. It's like this is something you can control, you know? And yeah, that's powerful. When you choose you and you don't know, like, you know what I mean? You don't have like the rest of the story mapped out, but you know I need to change this situation. It is for me terribly scary, but it is the most liberating thing in the world. It's like you feel good after, when you go to bed. And like to your point, they're like, oh, you're going to come back, or what are you going to do? Or blah, 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 blah. Like the naysayers,
yeah.
child, take a shower, go to bed. You feel that's a good night's sleep. Like I'm out of here.
I just realized that it was just people who they wanted to leave as well, but they felt
Mm-hmm.
trapped and they just wanted the company, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
just, how you gonna leave? Don't leave me. But they're just more like,
Right.
oh, it's not gonna work out. You're gonna come back because they were literally trying to hold. But I mean, like it was like 2 years. I still was going. It was like, you can still come back. I'm like no. But okay, so
That's powerful.
talk
11
about
years
that.
later.
So is there
Congratulations.
something that you would like to tell your younger self, like some advice you would like to tell your younger self?
Um, my younger self. I think I would tell myself, there's been other situations where I probably should have chose me and I didn't. So, hindsight is 2020. Also, I would tell my younger self, make them pay you. Like, where there was a time in my life, in my 20s probably, where I was so grateful to be there. I was just like, oh, thank you for having me. It's like I just wanted to be there. And I was like, and I'll work really hard and I'll get promoted and da 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 da. And it's like, today is not yesterday. Like now it's like, you got to pay me to get in a room. And then then we'll talk about paying me later. It's like, again or more, but I just didn't value what I was bringing enough, which teaches people not to value you enough, right? When you're always, this is already America where you're already kind of like woman and you're Black. And then it's like, and if you don't, show them actually, I deserve to be here. This is why I deserve to be here. And I would do that. I would do that differently for sure. I would demand more. I also would get an MBA. I know that there's time for that. My girlfriend Janelle always says, you could get an MBA now. Like you're not dead. I don't want to. Like I don't want to do the work now. Like don't have the energy that I expect it takes to like kill that. But it fits me to have one. Like I am so business savvy like that. I should have killed B school when I was younger. I would have done a great job with it.
Okay, well, shoot, your advice to your younger self is, well, I'm like over here, I'm taking it and soaking it up like that. Like, pay me. Okay, so
Pay me. I was like, I just was, I was just so, and I don't think it's wrong to be grateful, but it's just like, you just don't have to be so meek and lowly. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're doing you a favor. Now I understand this is an exchange, right? I am bringing value to you and you're paying for that value. Before, I almost felt like it was one-sided. It's just like, oh, thank you for having me here. It's like, not really. That's not really the setup now, And I think these kids know better than that.
yeah,
They're
oh no,
very,
they do.
yeah.
They do.
So I don't need
My
to
nephew was
suggest that to
like,
any of these
how much am
kids.
I getting paid for volunteer work? I'm like, bruh. I'm like, let's see what we can do, okay? Because I'm like, I'm pouring into you as well. I gotta
Right.
negotiate with him. Like, it's just,
I love get
like
paid for volunteer
my
work. That's the
volunteer
best.
hours. Like, he'll like break it down. This is how much I can do for the month. Like, he got a whole plan. Like, I'm like,
The
and he's
kids are
only 10,
advanced.
so
I'm not worried about them at all. They are advanced.
okay. So now, what I guess what tips or tricks would you want to give to someone who is looking to get into your field?
E-commerce, I would say e-commerce or small business in general, it's very, very, very important to present well. So not just like doll up, like put on a pretty dress, but if you can put a pretty dress on your brand, right? So even if it's just you and this is day one, when you present to the world, have it be polished, have them be able to think it's bigger than it is. And of course, it will evolve. You'll look back and cringe, like, oh, was that my logo? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Make the effort to make it nice. Go like spend a little bit more and get the thicker paper or whatever. Like make it nice. So that you know what I mean? So you're special. Or when you're buying, if you sell online or I don't know, even in person, like you can get so many things, so many different places. So then it's like, what makes this special? Right? Why would you shop with me? Like, why would you keep coming back here? It's like, is that special? I mean, it's a t-shirt. Maybe my t-shirt needs to have ruffles, or maybe it needs to have sequins, or something where it's like a little different, right? I enjoy a good Target by myself, so like why would you come to me and not go to Target where they could probably offer it $10 cheaper? It's like okay, so I won't get that one. I'll have to like put together this one. But the brand is so important. And not throwing us under the bus, but a lot of times brown and black companies, businesses, I don't think we put enough effort towards service or towards the brand, what it looks like, how you presenting to people, what are people talking about when they leave you? Like, doesn't matter if the plate of food is good if I didn't have a good experience, because the experience is why I would come back. I can get these ribs somewhere else, and I'll pay more for it if I have a good time. So that's what I would tell people is the service, kill it on the service, and then dedicate some coins, maybe just as much coins as like inventory toward what the brand looks like. How are you presenting it? And there's so many resources now that are not expensive, and they're not, you don't have to have a team to pull it off. There's so many online things you can do to create things. Just spend the time and do that for sure.
It's definitely so presentation matters.
Absolutely.
Service
is huge. Service is first and then the presentation. But it's like, people reach out and the way they're talking to me, I know they don't realize this is me. Like who are all these people? There are no departments. Like what? I'm like, this is me up at night, right?
You got on
after work. Yes, me after work in here, like package stealing, going to the post office, this, that. One of my girlfriends said, "Oh, your customer service person online or something was so polite to me." I was like, "Who do you think that was?"
You're
Are
like,
you
thank you.
serious? Right. Who do you think the online chat is, girl? Like, who? You must really think I'm out here killing it. I must be really selling it.
Well, I mean, it's manifesting itself. Like your whole team is manifesting itself
I'm
within you. So
grateful.
hopefully,
I'm
you're
grateful.
gonna start getting people who are gonna say, "Are you hiring?" or interns would like to work with
I
you.
would
Like,
like some interns. I was on a call again. Another thing I said yes to, and then there's these calls. I think it's called Transformative Tuesdays. So that's another little plug. But they're amazing women, and I was like, when do you hire help? Like I was going in a holiday, and it was a lot. I had a good holiday, thank you God. And I was like, I need some help. When did you hire help? And they were like, girl, get an intern, get a few interns, like write them a letter somewhere. And I was like, oh, that is brilliant, right? Because I can't really afford it. But yeah, so I would recommend that too for anyone who wants to know. Get the intern, don't spend money on people yet. Like be super frugal with your coins. Keep your
right,
overhead low.
yeah, and be the like very focused with the interns because it's kind of like a mentorship. So they're getting something out of it, even if it's not paid. They're
It's
able to
true.
do like the hands-on, go through the whole experience, learn about certain things. Um, like we deal with interns and volunteers all day.
That's
And
awesome.
they do need the recommendation. They need the service credit for college. So
Mm-hmm.
they are there and they want to do something. So yeah,
How do
that'll
people, I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you a quick question.
oh,
Real quick. Sorry. How do people know about your organization? How do they find out about it? How do you get the word out?
oh through spirit now. Well, that too. But through our website, we have a website, www.universitychurch. We also have social media at YTC underscore nonprofit. We're on like Instagram, social media, LinkedIn, um, and we partnered, like we were talking about collaboration, collaborate this year or towards the end of last year to now, we are big on collaboration because with collaboration, we're able to cross promote. We're able
Yeah.
to like bring in actually big names that want to work with us because they see that we're in the community. We're hands on and we've got the grounds on the
And
street.
11 years, honey. That's terribly
Right, like
impressive.
we heard it all, we know it all, so we're in the
Yeah.
streets. People start to see that we're consistent, so they're trusting. They see the credibility within us, and they're like, okay, they're not just this regular little organization, even though we're little, but we fluctuate with weight.
Right. But qualified, vetted. Right.
Yeah,
That's
so we
awesome.
get a lot of volunteers that want to help, one-time volunteers. Some of them are really qualified to do it. Some others want to learn how to do certain things. So we're really particular on how we bring in our volunteers. I've learned over the time, like, okay, look, I still need quality volunteers.
Yeah.
So, and the consistency is key. So we try to do the whole customer service. I try to get to know everybody, whether it's someone coming in for one time, I'm like, I want to know. That's
Love
how
it.
I operate with everything. Like if it's people that I'm trying to help, like provide clothes for, like I'm like, let me get to know you. How are you? And then we have this small connection. So they're like, oh, it's just kind of like that love. Like it's an extension of myself, and I try to, how they say how you show up in one area of your life, you usually show up in the rest of them. And
Right.
that's one of the big things. So that's kind of how people get to see us. They It's through word of mouth and through social media. Yeah, so
That's amazing. That's amazing. I don't know. You have to fill me in on what I could do from here. I'd love to be involved. I'd love
oh
to.
my God,
And
do it.
I pick a charity every year to try to benefit. And I've done the Make-A-Wish Foundation and St. Jude's, which are huge, and everybody's doing right there in McDonald's and Target and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I'm happy to do anything I can, and spread the word, obviously. So you'll have to make it easy for us, like upload a link or something and let's blow it up. I don't know. I don't know if there's certain months that are better. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. But
Like
anyway.
our up season, our peak season, or something like that. I mean, we're gonna
Or
be doing.
whenever if you want to do like a fundraiser, I'm happy to help with that. Or I don't know. Let me know. Let me know how
All
I
right,
can
so that's
help. That
great.
would be a
That's great.
blessing. That would be a blessing. I mean,
I,
I'm happy to get the homies involved.
okay, thank you so much. See, this conversation that led to you want to get involved. That's
Yeah,
how it
I feel
happened.
like we've talked about many things, but I didn't know about this until like a month ago. So shame on you. Shame on you. That's what I would tell my younger self, that you can promote your stuff without, and don't care about the people that are rolling their eyes, right? Like, because some people care to hear it. And that's how we get out there, is that you got to do it a little bit. So I used to really care about, like, I don't want to feel like, but it's like, now I don't care, honey. You could choke. You could choke. Okay. I'm gonna say the things.
Oh no, after 2020, I was like, you seen like 2021, I came out like posting, doing a whole bunch of stuff because I was there.
It's
Like I've been
true.
in my home by myself for so long. I'm like
Right.
busting it out. I'm busting out. Like I'm kicking through the
Yeah.
door, and I want the world to see like all of the amazing people, all the amazing things that I do, not waste the talent or the skills that God has blessed me with. So like,
That's
and it
powerful.
inspires other people, like especially the kids looking up and
It
even
does.
my peers. Um, some people who are older than me, like they're like, oh my God, but it's contagious, and the more I inspire them, it's like I inspire myself at the same time because they're like reconfirming it. So, no, I thank you so much. I didn't want to tell
Yeah,
you
for
about.
sure.
I didn't tell you about it because I was already doing a whole bunch of other things with you. So I was just like, I can't say now I do this too. I'm like, okay, yeah, it'll happen when it,
You see how we talk ourselves out of it? You see how we talk ourselves out of it? And then our white male counterparts, they tell anybody, period. They don't care if you want to hear it or not. They are always pitching. We have to do better about it. We have to
You're
do
right
better
about that.
about it. Have you tell people what you're into. Hey, I'm carrying, you know what? I own this organization. You guys seem amazing. You might want to donate. You might know somebody in my area, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, just putting it out there. Okay, let's order tequila. Like, it doesn't have to be this long, annoying, but yeah, tell us. I'm trying to do better. I'm preaching to myself. I'm trying to do better too.
I
But
know, I
if
know. I
I
know you
can
gotta say it out
encourage
loud.
others to also do it, and we hold each other accountable, that it gets done. But
Yeah,
yeah, let me
this is
know
so true, and I
if
needed
we
to
can
hear that.
collab, or if we could, I don't know, we don't have to do it in this moment, but I'm down. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
so y'all heard it here on the turnaround. Okay,
On the
so
turnaround,
Maya,
we turning it around.
and a quick little fun fact that we just found out is that Maya's one on the fourth, and her first and last name have 4 letters in both. And I was one on the sixth, and my first and last name both have 6 letters. So that is cool.
Right. Someone needs to write in or reach out and tell her what that means so she can tell me, because that's interesting. It really is. That's interesting. And I know somebody knows more about it.
Okay, so do you have anything coming up, and where can they reach you? Where can our audience reach you?
Yes, you can follow me and interact with me at Poor Little Rich Girl Studio on Instagram, same name on Facebook. And I have some local things going on. So in the San Francisco Bay Area, I have a pop-up shop. I've partnered with Sip, Shop, Eat. And we have a big weekend pop-up. There should be hundreds of people there on July 17th and 18th. So I have butterflies about that. Y'all pray. And then I have another collection that is coming right after that, kind of late July into August. That will, it's yet to be named, I'm not sure. And then we celebrate the store's birthday in October. So there's always going to be like a big sale. Things are like $20, $25, $15, kind of like also preparing for holiday at that point. So yeah, just keep in touch with me on social. Follow us on IG at Poor Little Rich Girl Studio, and engage. I respond, and I'm also happy to promote your brand unless it's shady. Now, if it's trash, I can't do it, but I trust that it's not.
What one person's trash is someone else's treasure, but I get you. Don't promote it.
It's got to be on brand, though. I love you. It's got to be on brand.
Quality over everything.
Yes, absolutely. Karen, this was a blast, honey.
Huh?
This was a blast. I'm having so much fun.
I am glad you are, because I know you're going through a lot, and I just want to say that thank you so much for taking the time out to sit with me, even though we're across the water, across, I guess, lands. You're at West Coast, from the East Coast. Look at this.
I know.
Create something and share your story. So, and then I've seen how you, towards the end, you kind of like flipped the script and started interviewing me. Like, I'm like, wait, hold up.
We're going to take every opportunity. Listen, we're going to take every opportunity. I'm always going to promote the homies. Listen, every opportunity.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
That is my superpower.
Okay, so thank you so much, Maya.
Thank you for having me.
And we look forward to kind of like working with you in the future. So we already said that. So yeah,
absolutely.
So everybody,
can we take a photo?
Oh yeah, you can take a photo.
Okay, you ready? Okay, we're gonna smile. Love it. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. I took it. I'll send it.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.